my nephew bought me this. How's that for a beer glass? That's says Pirates Dinner Adventure, Buena Park, California. That's where we were. That, I believe, is a 50-ounce glass. So that's a pitcher of beer. But you know what? I'm going to use it today to drink this California beer that my nephew... No. I think this one is not a California beer. Let me see. I believe this one is from Indiana. Yes. So, Phil, hopefully Phil's watching. He's a friend of my nephew out in California, and he travels for work, I guess. He was in Indiana, and he picked up a 4-pack from this brewery, but it was a mixed pack, so there's 4 different beers. I got 4 beers to review. I was out there for the 4th of July, so I decided to do this one. It's called Freedom Rings Slushy XL. Smoothie style sour ale, sweet cherry, pineapple, blue raspberry, and gummy candy. So, store cold, drink fresh, 1 pint. So, this is going to be a pint, but I'm going to put it in this massive glass. And I'm going to pour it hard like I always do, but I'll be able to get the whole pint in there. Get out of the way so people can see. Ooh, it gives it a deep sound. And it is thick. I'm looking at that. That thing is thick. Oh, wow. This is a perfect glass because, looking at all that action that's taking place down there. Man, this is a thick one. Because a pint, we're talking 16 ounces. This is a 50-ounce glass. So all of that head is taking up all of that space in there. Man, awesome. Let's see what we got for alcohol in here. Thanks again, Phil. That's much appreciated. It says, store cold, drink fresh due to the large amount of fruit in this beer. And I believe it. Let's see. Don't tell me I'm not going to find any alcohol content on the label here. But that is what it's looking like. 450 North Brewing Company. But that's all it says. I get brewed and canned by 450 North Brewing Company, Columbus, Indiana. I'm not getting any alcohol content on this label. That's unusual. But look, it's settling down a bit. We got the beer here. This is the thin part of the glass. It's much bigger up at the top. Got this nice head. It's a pink head. Oh, she's heavy. She's heavy. And it smells like you just threw those, those berries and whatnot into the blender, and you blended them all up and you're making yourself a smoothie. It's exactly what that smells like. If you were blindfolded smelling this, you wouldn't know you were smelling a beer. So it is what it is. It's a mystery alcohol content beer. But I'm about to dive into it. This glass is big enough for me to dive into. Cheers. Ooh. That's nice. It is tart. What did it say? This was a smoothie style sour ale. So, I do love sour beers. Didn't think I would. I haven't had a bad one yet. The thing about those sour beers, that first sip is so sour that if you turn yourself off to it and don't go in for the second and third sip, you're going to miss out because it gets better. This one is sour, but it's not overwhelmingly, you're not going to get a permanent pucker in your puss from it. It is sour, but I would call it more tart. Sour can be like, like that. This isn't like that. It's tart. More like cranberry tart. But it tastes delicious. Oh. I get no beer vibes at all from this. Those carbonated bubbles in there, which there's a million of them, once again dispelling the rumor that pouring a beer hard makes the beer go flat. Totally not the case. This to me tastes like a carbonated smoothie that's, get that little bit of tartness to it. It's good. The head is very thick. The body of the beer is actually very thick. I noticed that when I was pouring it out of the can. It's thick and delicious. I really wish there was the alcohol content on here. And if it's on there, it's very well hidden, because I've looked at this label 5 times now and I still don't see it. Well, that's a bit of a disappointment. Sometimes when you're drinking an IPA and they don't list the IBUs on it. Oops, I got my phone thing in my ear. What am I doing with that there? Why don't they list those things? Because the IBUs, the International Bitterness Units, are going to tell you how bitter a beer is. Now, this doesn't have ABV or IBUs listed. That's like some important information that beer drinkers, especially craft beer drinkers, and I single out the craft beer drinkers because if you're just a regular beer drinker, you're not even paying attention to the beer more than likely. You're just drinking it out of the bottle or the can, you're just slamming one after the other, and that's fine. That's fine. But craft beers, in my opinion, I don't think craft beers are meant to be slammed. Yes, they can be sessionable, you can drink more than one, but they're just so much more flavorful, and there's so much more to them. They're more complex. Like this. If you drank this out of the can, which you can, there's no laws against it. You can drink this out of the can, but you're not going to see any of this because the aluminum, you're not going to see it. It's going to go straight from the can into your mouth. You're not going to see any of this. The aroma, when you open it, yes, you can smell it, but how many people, when they open a can, sniff the hole there before they drink it? Are you going to do that every time you drink it? Probably not. You're just going to, the opening goes to your mouth and you drink it. Well, here you got a big hole, and I guess I'm using a big glass, but still, if it's a regular size glass, when you put it up there, guess what? Your nose, and then even my big nose, it goes in the glass. So I can get a smell of it every time I drink. Really enhances the flavor because you're getting the aroma and the flavors together. So you can see it, you can smell it, you can appreciate what it looks like. This is a very thick beer. If there's chunks in it, it's so thick I can't even see through it. But it's nice to, have some information. Especially not putting the ABV on the label is bad because this tastes good. And what if I drink 4 or 5 of these? I won't, but what if I did? And these ended up being 10% ABV beers where the alcohol is just so well hidden in there that you don't taste the alcohol, so you just keep slamming them back. Next thing you know, you're wrecked. And you didn't want to get wrecked. So, 405 North Brewing Company. It's a stick-on label. It's a small craft beer company. That's something they might want to add to the labels. And I didn't look at the other 3. Like I said, this was a mixed 4-pack. I didn't look at the other 3 to see, what information was on them at all. I like to do that on the air for the first time when I'm reviewing it. But I'll have to check the others, and if not, I'll have to do some research before I come out because, you don't want to pull up this kind of information. If you're at a party and somebody gives you one of these and you drink it, like, oh, this is nice, what is it? And you can't figure out what it is from reading the label, I mean, that's bad. That's bad. Beer is good, but the lack of information on the label is bad. Oh. I don't know if you guys can see it, but the foam, which the lacing on here is very thick, and you see it's the same color as the beer was. The foam is dark like that. It's probably They might use a fruit puree. So there might be chunks of the berries that are actually in there sticking in that foam. But it's nice. It's nice. I give it it's a thumbs up as far as the taste. I love the can art. It's very nice. The only drawback, like I say, on this particular one is the lack of the alcohol percentage on the label, because that is a very important thing. You want to know if you're drinking a 4% ABV beer or if it's a 10% ABV beer, because that 6% can make a major difference in how it's going to make you feel. And I said you could get into trouble if you drank 2 or 3 of these and they were 10%. I don't know if it is. I doubt it is. But it could be. And the only way to know for sure is they need to put it on there. I don't like to have to research the beers. If I'm at a party and I'm trying, somebody has a beer I've never tried and I want to try it, I like to taste it, drink it, and then look at the can and then see what it is, I don't want to have to pull out my phone and start Googling to get basic information it should be basic. Alcohol content on a beer, that should be basic information. It should be there. All beers, all the time. It should be. But thanks for stopping by the Hardport Pub. It's always nice to be home, but it's always sad when you have to leave vacation. So, I found a new baseball team. I hadn't watched, it's not even on the camera. I hadn't watched professional baseball in decades. I live in Atlanta, not an Atlanta Brave fan. I'm from Florida. My team is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I watched that. But I tell you what, I was so impressed with the Angels while I was out there. I'm the newest fan, living in Atlanta. So, their awesome pitcher they got out there. I'm not going to butcher his first name, but his last name is, what is his name? Aitani or something like that. The Japanese pitcher that keeps smashing home runs left and right. It's like unheard of in baseball. Pitchers aren't supposed to smash home runs, but this guy does all the time. That's why I like them. I like them. They're different. They're doing something different, just like me. Always doing something different. So, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time. Till then. I love my new glass. Thanks, Trey. And thanks, Phil, for the beer.